So Jeezy and Nia Long had about an hour long conversation, good conversation, and they in this time they talked about their relationships as well. You know, about their failed relationships, and some details were given. But it seems that as Nia was talking about some of these points, she gave some good points, but she was kind of double talking and double dipping, if you should say, as far as the points that she was giving out. Let's get into some of it and see what.
You know, because women have it their own thing they go through, but then when you deal with men and you have that hard exterior, it's hard, right? Because we already fighting the world. You know what I'm saying?
But so are we.
But that's what we got to find to happen medium.
I didn't have enough examples in my own life to like understand what it really meant or what it really means to see a relationship between a man and a woman that is healthy and balanced. And you work through things instead of like every conversation is not an argument.
Right.
And I don't think black men and black women have those conversations enough.
Even now we're doing the work. That don't mean everybody else is on board. And that's the crazy part.
But that's the thing. You got to let them go. You got to let them go, and you got to let them be on their own journey, and you can't fight for it anymore. And you got to love them exactly where they are. And you got to say, baby, you know what? The hardest thing to do is to walk away from someone that you still love.
She just showed you right off rip what she said in the beginning. She said, I haven't seen enough relationships where black men and black women will work things out. Because 2 seconds later, Jeezy started talking. Was like, yeah, I think, man. She was like, yeah, because I agree. You need to just let it go. Ain't nothing to be said. You need to just, sometimes you need to love people where they at and just leave them there. Ain't nothing else need to be said. What? What?
You didn't tell me
and
it was a pastor
okay.
too.
No, I'm just speaking from my own, speaking from like, you know,
1000% agree.
Experience.
But then look, it ain't me. I ain't tripping. She about to do it again. Watch.
We are the ones who set it off and make it happen. We are the ones that create the culture. We are the artists. We are the artistes. We are the voices that lead the masses. But what has always hurt me to the core is, why is there this dismantlement of the black family? Why isn't it that black men and black women can't sit like you and I are sitting in a space and have really open dialogues about things and work through the trauma? Because that's the only way we can really be productive.
You said if it couldn't work, then you would leave.
I told you it wasn't me. Jeezy called this one out. He was rocking with her because she was like, why can't black men and black women work things out and get through our trauma? And he was like, but you just said, if something happened, you leave it. That's what you just, didn't you just say that?
Yes.
Even if there was a family, even if there was kids involved.
If the other person is not willing to do the deep, hard work, then you stay. And when you stay, you have to make yourself smaller to stay, to survive.
1000% agree with you.
So she's saying if the other person isn't ready, but you want to stay, then you diminish yourself to fit into their world. But you make yourself smaller, right? Now listen to this.
Or you may not. I think for a woman, it means you have to make yourself smaller to feel like you're fitting into this space with this person who's not ready yet.
Right.
You can still love them, by the way.
Right.
You can still love them. You can still wish them the best. You can still, you might have moments where you want to cuss somebody out. Like that's normal. Like we have feelings and emotions, but you can love people right where they are.
Right.
Because to me, that's really a sign of my own personal growth. If you can love the person that hurt you.
Right. But you mean love them from afar.
You love them from afar. Right. You wish them well. You bless them on their journey. And you hope that the next time around that they have the opportunity to do the work, that they do the work.
I'm with you, Nia, but you didn't say it. Jeezy said it. Jeezy said love you from afar. She didn't say that. She was talking from a place of like diminishing and making yourself smaller to fit in to somebody else's world. He was like, oh, love him from afar? She was like, yeah.
What happens when you're a man and you want nothing more than that, right?
Yeah.
And that's not what you're getting on the other side. And there are kids involved, right? And there's somewhat love there, and you understand that somebody else might have their thing, but they're not taking this journey with you of healing, because I think love is two people healing together and giving each other the space to do so. And the thing for me is, when I went to visit my mother that day, I went to forgive her, but I also went to tell her that I'm gonna stand up for little J.
That's right.
Right, the little J that she put in that position. And I think a lot of my healing journey, especially in my real life, had a lot to do with me never standing up to my mother the right way.
That's right.
Which made me be a certain way in real life.
You're kind of all the things.
Right. What's all the things you mean?
I mean, like you're like a cat. You've kind of lived 9 lives.
Yeah.
You've had many different versions of self.
Right.
So right now, where are we?
In my life, I wanted to have a family forever.
Yeah.
I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the person.
To get it right.
To get it right.
Me too. I wanted to get it right.
To be right.
Yes.
To do all the things. And you get in that space and you're letting your inner child down. And you're not protecting them. And that's making you shrink in situations like that too.
Men do.
Yes, because if you're not appreciated, if you're met with resistance, if you're met with that inner thing that somebody else has from their thing,
but to me that's fixable.
You gotta want to do the work.
I agree.
But you just said clearly, if the person doesn't meet that, you out.
Now you see what I'm saying? When she clearly knows that he's talking about his ex-wife Jeanie Mai, now everything is fixable, right? When it was just on her, she like, oh, I'm out, and he just reminded her that you just said whatever y'all going through, you out. And this after us watching her be engaged to udoka for 7 years. But now when it's on me and I'm telling you the stuff I've been through as a man and what I don't want to deal with now is, oh, well, that's fixable. You can get over that because it's your wife. You should want to fix stuff with her, right? And I agree that the relationships are fixable, but why is it only fixable when it's in the man's lap? Or when it's you got to deal with your wife, oh, that's fixable. But when it's a woman that got to deal with her husband doing something crazy, oh, no, I'm out. You dig what I'm saying?
There's an expiration date on everything, right? Like, and you got to know when it's time to be done.
Right.
And that's usually not about another person, an affair, or, some chick that's willing to like make you feel like a king, because that's why most men cheat. Most men cheat because
that's fascinating to me.
It's so gross. It's so stupid.
So you mean to tell me when women want to be treated like queens and worshipped, right? It's all good. But when men want to be treated like kings, it's gross and it's stupid. Okay, whatever.
I personally, this is my quote: "Real no cheat."
You don't think so?
Oh, no.
I kind of understand what you mean when you say that.
Of course she understands that sentiment. And I'm going to tell you why he right, but it's going to be for a different reason. Let's listen.
Not.
I understand what you mean when you say that.
It's something in us that makes us want to be right? Yes. Across the board.
But is that so that you are living up to the expectation that you set for yourself? Because again, you're going back to your childhood wounds of trying to be perfect to receive the love from your mom, or is that really where you've landed, that you want to be a man that does things the right way because you want to be honorable and you want to respect the woman that you're with? Because those are two different things.
I want to be honorable, and I'm just anybody that's real. And when I say real, I mean real with yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna hold. There's a sense of integrity there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? In my life.
God, what happened to integrity?
My life is built on integrity.
Yeah.
That's my moral compass.
Yeah.
If I'm not integral, I'm off.
Yeah.
So Jesus say it's men that are in monogamous relationships and they don't cheat because of integrity. And that's the truth, you know what I'm saying? But I also think it's a flip side to that coin. It's men with integrity that do have multiple women. They just don't cheat. They don't sneak and creep about it. You know what I'm saying? Women may know about it with each other. But the integrity lies in both of those type of men, though, you know?
And for me, doing the work is integral, right? For me, coming forth and telling my truth is integral.
Right.
For me, taking the mask off and saying, you know what, even your favorite favorite trapper has flaws and things that he has to work through. It's integral. Doing a versus battle in front of the world, they know that they know who you are and what you're capable of, and you taking another approach because you want to save lives is integral. That's that disruptive, not making the favorite or the most favorable choice because you know you have a position to play. So when I say that,
it's in your purpose, right? Like when you're more in line with your purpose.
And I swear to you that more than ever, I understand my purpose is walking in these footprints that God has left for me.
And what is your purpose now?
My purpose is to be the best version of myself and to teach my culture everything that I learned along the way. Just like I did when I was in the streets and I made music. Now that I'm writing books, everything that I learned is in that book.
And it's good to hear that Jeezy is moving towards the footprints that God has left for him, because a lot of times rappers and people in entertainment like to operate how they operate and then put God's name on it. At least I'm hoping that's what Jeezy is not doing anymore, right?
There's only a chosen few people who understand what's really at stake.
I was talking to a guy friend of mine a while ago, and he said, Nia, and I was just complaining. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I love this person. And he said, everyone has a cap on their capacity. And if their capacity is full, you could be doing backflips, front flips. You could be the best. The sex could be amazing. All these things could be amazing in that relationship. But if that person's capacity and desire to grow isn't there, then you hit that wall.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that everyone that hits the wall should give up.
Right.
I'm saying that if your partner hits the wall,
right,
and you're not quite there yet,
right,
in your personal growth,
right,
you have a big decision to make.
If I'm ready and my partner's not, what happens?
Well, how do you know she's not?
You see what she does? Like, as she's referring to herself, or her partner wasn't ready. But then when he asked the question about Jeannie Mai, oh, how you know she's not ready?
Let's just say I knew. Like it wasn't. What do I do? You're my sister right now.
I'm your sister.
Well, you giving me some advice, hypothetically speaking.
Well, you don't want my advice because my advice is I'm out.
Really?
No, I don't give up easily.
Right.
I will never give up on someone I love. I don't care how high we are or how low we are.
And I know she was joking there, but she does, hopscotch, she does say 1 minute, like, you should leave. And then next minute she'll be like, oh, well, I don't give up on people easily. And this, that, and that. She stayed with him at Udoka in the 7-year engagement. And I believe she only left because the cheating was so public, and right? I think it's kind of that difficult place to be where you figure out that you picked the wrong person.
That's how I feel about I love me now.
Yeah.
There's a point I didn't. So I can't give up on myself.
That's choosing yourself.
Is that wrong?
No. That's the ultimate freedom. The ultimate acceptance. Who you are now, where you are now. And where's that picture you showed me earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Of you when you were younger.
That's my guy right there. Salute Jay. I talk to him all the time.
So cute.
He was kind of cute, you know what I'm saying? He was cutie patootie, you know what I'm saying? Little gangster, but he's good.
Well, you gotta have a little gangster. Right. It's boring if you ain't got no gangster.
Did you catch that where she say, if you ain't got a little gangster in you, it's boring? So a lot of women think, you know what I'm saying? That, like, I don't know if I put it in the clip, but earlier she says in the interview that all she dated was drug dealers, right? So young, that's how women they attracted to those types, you know what I'm saying?
But what we haven't talked about is your current marriage and your current situation. And I think it would be unfair to you to not address that in this space where we're being really open and honest. And it doesn't have to be the details of anything.
Right.
But if you've done all of this work and you've given yourself that grace and you've given yourself that space to grow and you've given yourself permission to love self, right? Then what happens when a man gets to the point where they're just like, okay, I'm filing for divorce?
Integrity intact. I could never say anything that would not honor somebody.
Absolutely.
But I can tell you that this has not been a easy journey. Right. I can tell you that I'm saddened. I can tell you that I'm disappointed. I can tell you that I'm uneasy, right? But again, like, God has put me in a different path, and that path is going to entail for me to take care of myself and to love myself and to be in the best situation that I can thrive as someone who's been through all the things that I've been through.
It's kind of something you can't explain.
Yeah, you can't. The real thing is, like, I don't like to fail in anything.
Me either. I don't want to lose. I don't want to fail.
I don't want to fail, especially when I know what
you've poured in.
Right. And, as I sit across from you, like, I can only be responsible for myself.
True.
And I can only do what I can do, right? And I can't expect someone else to do what I'm doing.
But did you go to therapy with her?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Right.
So you actually addressed it,
right.
Tried to work through it, tried to do the work, and it just was like not happening. Well, then you tried. Yeah. I don't know about for you, but for me, it is a switch.
Right.
And when that switch goes
that what
off,
that was your switch?
Gone. Yeah.
Right.
But I had to realize for myself that anything that happened in the last, year and a half of my life, that didn't have nothing to do with me.
And that's
right here. I kind of agree with them, but I disagree as well. And I disagree because we got to take responsibility for the type of people we picking. And that does have something to do with us. Sometimes we attract the wrong people. And it's like she was in an engagement with udoka for 7 years. I think that was an indication that she may have picked wrong. Jeezy, I don't think, got to know Jeanie enough. And so when he started running into her real personality, he realized he picked wrong. Sometimes we pick wrong, but we got to own that so we don't continue to do so.
Didn't have anything to do with me. I was not embarrassed.
I'm not buying that you wasn't embarrassed. We've all been cheated on before, and it's embarrassing, especially when it's like this public. But I get where she's going with it, though.
Right.
I was not. The way that Black people stood up for me, and the way that Black women were like, "Oh no, you don't do that to her."
I do remember a lot of Black men standing up for Nia. Like, we all asked the question, like, why are you protecting this white woman's identity, but you outed Nia's identity? I remember Black men standing up too, Nia. Don't forget that.
I was shocked because I didn't realize that what I had done or what I've done in my career had so much impact.
You didn't realize that?
No, not at all. And I'm not even being funny.
You're America's sweetheart. Like, it's crazy.
Well,
it's like, what the hell? You don't know that?
I don't regard myself in that way because it's always really about the work for me.
Well, I'm going to say this. I feel like I'm sitting across from you.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I want to personally tell you that you embody what a well-minded, grown Black woman is supposed to be like. And we stand with you always. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you, because you are my sister. And this is a safe space for me to say what I need to say. Because at times when we're at our lowest, we need our sisters. Just like you guys need your brothers. And that's why this conversation was so real, because I hope and I pray that this conversation can open up different conversations in our culture about being there for each other and not being at odds with each other, no matter what we've been through. And, I gotta give you your flowers. You've done an amazing job at maintaining your integrity throughout your career, right? As a person, as a human being. And it meant the world to me to sit across from you and just to tell you my story. As a man, I just hope that women, our women, Black women in particular, could see this and give us a safe space. Really, women all the way across the board, because we are men, we as men, like, we're hurt to be vulnerable to tell your partner that, right now I'm in a bad, I'm in a bad space. We going through it out here every day. You wouldn't even imagine, right? And there's no safe place for us to land. There's no safe place for us to have these conversations. We can't have it with our homies. We can't have it with our brothers and our partners, because it doesn't resonate.
It doesn't translate because they don't have life experience.
Right, and they don't have that empathy there, right? Yeah. They don't have that mothering, that nurturing thing.
I will say I wish men could get more understanding from women, because normally when men try to be even a little bit vulnerable, you know what I'm saying, women throw it in your face, use it against you, bring it up at Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying, in front of everybody. It's a harsh place to be in as a man, but I wish we stopped battling it so much as men and women, Black men and women, and give each other they flowers like he did here. You know what I'm saying? But we got to listen to each other a little more. But I will say this: if we are able to give Nia Long her flowers as in here, and appreciate her as a Black woman and this, that, and another, I do gotta say I'm not knocking nobody for their choices, ethnicity or this, but why don't we also give them same uh, flowers when it comes times to pick our wives? You know, just saying.
And this is like, for me, it's real, because when you buried as many people as I have, right, or seen people go to prison for long periods of time, or just seen people fall to the wayside, you know, they're all missing a certain element, and that element is to be able to have a safe space to process. Because when you're in pain and you're in odds, and I've been in pain most of my career, like, I've been the angry Black man for sure.
Really?
Yeah, because I was just mad at the world, because I'm like, why do I have to keep fighting these battles? Not that I'm not a fighter, right?
No, we all are. You don't want to have to fight through it. It should be a joyful experience.
And if you do, you want to be able to at least process with that with somebody who feels your pain and understands where you're coming from, and probably can give you some insight of what they think, but it's safe. And I feel like there's no safe spaces for us. And to answer your question, I'm going to take your homework. I'm going to go home.
Did I give you homework?
Yeah, because I hear where you're going with this. I'm going to write my list of people that I should forgive.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to forgive them, because my sister told me that it's okay to do so.
That's right.
I hope they don't think I'm soft, but I'm doing it.
You were not soft. No, you got to, because otherwise we're carrying. I need to listen. I need to write the list.
Well, won't you write your list and I'll write mine?
Listen, I want to see whose list is longer, because I got on my list. I don't know about yours.
I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your energy. I want to thank you for your realness. And I hope you understand how many lives this is going to affect and change, because I promise you, a lot of the anger and resentment and the dumb shit that men do is coming from a place of not being able to be seen or heard, right? We're demonized, and I can only imagine what it's like on the woman's side. But I'm hoping that this will open up, just that dialogue of being able to talk to each other. And like you said, being on the same team rather than fighting each other, because I'm going through a real hard moment in my life. Like, I felt it's something that I would have, gave my life for it to work.
The last question that I have is, we have established that everything starts with love. But I don't think we can grow into that real deep love and acceptance that this whole conversation has been about without forgiveness. So what do you do when you know you have to forgive someone? For me, I'll tell you what I do.
Okay.
When I know that I have to forgive someone, when I'm in my bed quietly meditating, I literally send them love vibrations. I literally send them, like, visualize the person's face, and I send them love vibrations, because by me releasing love towards them, I no longer have to be connected to the negative feeling of being hurt and disappointed. I have actually sliced that, chopped that down, you don't have access to me, there may never be another conversation, but energetically,
Right.
I know that I can send love to someone and it actually helps my healing. Now, whether they receive it or not, I don't really care.
Right.
All right, Nia, you're taking the therapist jargon to another level right now. The love vibrations, love, you sending love vibrations, and then you don't care if they get it or not. Man, if you don't, what is like the new fake way to say I'm praying for you? You know, people be saying I'm praying for you, put the little prayer hands, act like they praying for you. Whole time they talking about they praying, they was somewhere shooting dice.
It's more for me. And sometimes we don't need an explanation from the other person as to why it's so important to forgive. But I promise you, you could do all this work that you're doing right now. We could do all have these conversations. If you are not able to forgive, you will hit the wall again.
Or I'm gonna say this, and I received that. I don't know if I'm sending anybody love vibrations in my bed, but what I will promise you, I will write my list. See, this is why I was saying things.
No, because I was honest. You're like, no, I'm not sending no love vibrations because it ain't feeling like that right now.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write my list.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna forgive.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna forget.
But see, I'm looking in your eyes and I'm not really buying that.
I'm gonna forgive, but I'm not gonna forget. That's halfway, right?
That's halfway.
Forgive and don't forget. I mean, hey, I don't know if people think that's a valid way to do things, but it is the way a lot of people feel. Because you can forgive a person, but it don't mean that you don't still recognize what type of person they are. If they ain't changed, or like they whole get down is to like keep stealing from you. Let's say you got somebody in your family that steals. Like you can forgive that person, but you don't forget that they steal. So you would be wise to not have them around your valuables. You know what I'm saying? But good interview with Jeezy and Nia Long. We're probably gonna revisit some other parts of it outside of the relationship talk. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's good to see conversations like this with ain't nobody yelling and screaming and fighting. And we need to try to do that more as black men and women, as men and women in general, but especially black men and women. It's your boy P Camp. Let me know what you think, what you don't think. Get at your boy.